So the business which is guaranteed by the government of India is what we call as policy business. Although we only do what is our mandate, which is export facilitation, so everything is policy. But business which is guaranteed by the government of India roughly is around 44% as of 31st March 2024. Here again we are seeing a slight change, I would not say change, but a slight inclination towards the commercial portfolio. This I mentioned earlier that the corporate books grew very strongly by almost 49%, and that is actually reflected. The pace of commercial book actually has grown faster, or has been faster than our policy book, which takes actually to our commercial business in a dominant position at 56%. If we look at in terms of our fundamentals, in terms of our growth and performance, again when we look at our operating profit and profit after tax, both we are seeing a very good growth over last year. I mentioned earlier that we are recording a net profit of 2,518 crore. When we look at our other ratios like net interest margin, return on asset as well as profit per employee, again we are seeing good. I earlier mentioned that a slight drop in net interest margin, but again very conscious and developmental, I would say, a decision. Again, interventions in the trade finance markets, which typically would not yield very high margins as compared to medium and long term finance. Our capital to risk asset ratio continues to be strong at 21.18%. Again, needless to mention, but our entire capital, almost entire capital is core capital. So if you look at our core CRAR, it is 19.56%, which reflects a very strong capital position. When we look at certain ratios to assess the efficient use of capital, again there we are seeing an improvement actually, because we used to run over 25% capital to risk asset ratio. So with a 21%, all our efficiency ratios have improved. So be it return on equity or return on net worth, we are showing a significant increase. We have a very good asset quality, and I'm happy to say that that has remained so. So almost 87% of our commercial portfolio is rated investment grade and above. This will help us a lot because till 31st March 2024, the bank was following Basel I method of computation of capital, and we had voluntarily adopted the other two pillars of Basel, that was the operational risk and market risk. But starting from 1st April 2024, we will also be calculating our capital in line with Basel III. So the real benefit of this quality of the portfolio will actually get reflected in better capital ratios once we start computing based on Basel III. Non-fund portfolio again reflects very similarly to the funded portfolio, where very well rated assets. Look at non-performing assets. I mentioned earlier, from almost 4% last year to less than 1.5% in the current year. So we've given a trend of our NPAs in the last 3 years. So you see a consistent and progressive drop in our gross NPA and net NPA ratio. So for FY24, our net NPA ratio was just 0.29%. Coming to how do we do our liability management and how do we raise funds for supporting the growth in our books. So we of course receive our capital from the government of India, and we keep accruing to that through the reserves or the profits which we add to our reserves. In addition to that, the domestic markets and international markets are very important for us. So all our rupee funding of course is done through the rupee raisings which we do in the Indian markets. So last year, that is 23-24, we had raised in Indian rupees 44,000 odd crore. Foreign currency again, because we need to reflect that reflect our liabilities profile with that of our asset profile. So foreign currency funding is a very important element for Exim Bank. These are resources. I'm so sorry. Raising, I'll come later. So 44,589 crore is what is there as rupee borrowings in our books. Similarly, in terms of foreign currency resources, it is $13.5 billion. During the year, we have raised foreign currency resources of 3.26 billion and roughly 34,000 crore in Indian rupees. So that is what we raised in the year. Now, just to give you some color in terms of what we have done in the year. So we have not really done any very large public bond in 23-24. But we've been very successful because we had issued a sustainability bond of $1 billion in January 2023. And subsequent to that, that program of ours has become quite popular with the investors. So during the year under review, that is 23-24, we have actually issued bonds on private placement basis under the ESG framework. I've given the details. We've also done the first green floating rate bond. A small amount, but a very good indicator of the demand and the comfort and confidence investors have in Exim Bank.